In the United States, we believe the simple principles of freedom and equality. We are so devoted to these two principles that we send our soldiers to other countries to enforce the freedom and equality. We often forget that these soldiers we send to protect our ideals are in the highest form of service to the U.S., are the men and women we see every day. These men and women are our veterans. They still have served us. They still went above and beyond for our country, but they aren't getting treated with the respect that they deserve. Now, people like you and me don't get a good picture of what a veteran looks like, but the images and stories are outstanding, courageous war heroes like these guys. This guy is named Audie Murphy. This 5'5" man is the most decorated American soldier. He has earned 23 medals so far, and his highest, the greatest award in the U.S. military, the Medal of Honor, was awarded to him for fighting off 50 Nazis in a burning tank for an hour. He got his arm nearly blasted off, but he still took a 50 cal and shot all those Nazis up until he plainly said there were no more bullets. In total, he has racked up 200 kills. Another war hero highly respected is Scott Smiley. Soon after graduating high school, he was deployed to Iraq. On April 6, 2005, while on duty, a car bomber drove by and sent shrapnel deep into his eyes. After enduring and overcoming physical therapy, Scott went back to the military and continued to serve as the Army's first blind active duty officer. Now he has retired, and he's made a book called Hope Unseen, where he talks about his need for optimism and perseverance when suffering through the weak points in life. Now, this guy, David Bleek, he's just some dude. He's called the Hulk because one day, while he was on a mission to go up a hill to find a prisoner of war, a bunch of communist soldiers decided to shoot at him. So, like any other sane person, he ran towards them, crushed one's windpipe, and snapped the other's neck. And then, seeing that there was a grenade hitting one of his friend's helmets, he decided to tackle his friend and deflect the grenade with his own body. Now, while treating soldiers while being shot at, and by now he has 2 bullets in his leg, he carried soldiers downhill with a bullet wound in his leg. And while he was down there, 2 sad soldiers decided to attack him with 2 carbines with knives on them. And he decided to play clackers with their brain. He did 3 Stooges and broke their skull. Just bam. Just bam.
Oh my God.
It's insane. Now, this guy, Chris Kyle, you guys might know him. Anybody want to tell a story? You, Anna?
The movie American Sniper as well.
Yes, it is. We were going to talk about that and how he is now the most successful sniper in U.S. history after the movie made $347 million in the box office. He is probably the most relevant in today's time. If you haven't watched the movie, Chris is the most lethal sniper in U.S. history with an amazing total of 160 kills over 4 tours. A tour is 7 to 15 months, by the way. Chris was shot twice, survived 6 IEDs, and killed an insurgent from 2,100 yards away. Or, have y'all guys been to Carowinds lately? Have y'all guys seen The Fury?
Yeah.
About that entire length. That far away. After the war, and after his amazingness, he joined the FITCO Cares Hero Project to help the life coach veterans with disabilities. In 2013, he was murdered by a veteran with mental disabilities that he was trying to help. Now, all three of these heroic men, don't you respect them? Don't you think they are the symbol of what all our veterans are?
Yes.
Well, lucky you say that because, like every other American, we only respect those guys. These are the few percent of Americans that we have respected. Like this picture right here, Rambo is a heroic man, action war hero who's shot everybody. It's the same as these guys. Heroic action men that have shot everybody and have fought for our country. But they are not the majority. Of the 22 million veterans today, almost 30% served during peacetime. Also, the 22 million Americans serving today, only 137 have been awarded the Medal of Honor. Now, Audie Murphy, Scott Smiley, and Chris Kyle deserve the honor that they get, but we need to start honoring the rest of the veterans. We have to say thank you to all the veterans who have served, not just the ones that killed 50 Nazis or crushed people's skulls. We extol the achievements that our greatest war heroes have ever been awarded, but ignore everyone else. These veterans might not have gone out and done the extra while on duty, but they have heroically sacrificed their lives for our country. Now, soldiers that have joined the U.S. military are having a hard time getting out of the military than they are getting in. Now, this is Alicia Watkins. She originally worked in the Pentagon in 2001 and signed up for the military after watching her colleagues die in the 9/11 attacks. She served in the Air Force Staff Sergeant during the Iraq and Afghanistan War, and after 10 years of serving her community, Alicia finally claimed that she was homeless. It really crushed her. A few years ago, Alicia slept in a car that was $10 a day and ate from her kitchen, or also known as a cardboard box, with ramen and Doritos. Alicia would hunt for jobs every day, but her combination of PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, and spinal injuries that she retained during the war prevented her from working. Even though veterans are 11% of the population, they represent almost 1/4 of the homeless population. Every night, 50,000 men who have proudly served our country are sleeping in the streets. This is intolerable. This is downright shameful that you would walk past this man on their knees pleading for your scraps and change, but 40 years ago wholeheartedly signed up to fight for your country. Even worse, that the middle class people like us will accuse them of using drugs. Our veterans usually become homeless because they haven't gotten the right education and to put actual use in a real job because of physical injuries they sustained during service. The biggest problem that homeless veterans face, and veterans of all kinds face, is the development of PTSD. And also, I didn't really talk about this, but this guy, he is Jim Wolf. But anyways, he was a Vietnam War veteran who, like, one day they just decided to scuffle him up. And after 2 years of being homeless, he just looks brand new now. PTSD. PTSD, a really, really bad illness that can shut any person down. Now imagine the most humiliating event that you have ever went through, an event so horrible your mind repels it instantly. Now what if you couldn't repel it? You could not stop the process of seeing that image over and over right in your eyes. And that simple keyword like explode or separate might trigger that vivid memory. That over time, you begin to believe that it was all your fault and erupt in anger and anxiety when people so much as mention it. Now what do? You don't tell anyone because big manly soldiers don't cry and are reliving their worst nightmares over and over again. You and I have the dream of imagining PTSD, but 1/5 of veterans actually experience it. It causes fits of rage, depression to the point you just can't work with or to be around others. Veterans can overcome PTSD alone. They can help. They can get help. They need help from others. They need help from you. Studies show that 78% of adults appreciate their veterans, but only 25% of them would actually volunteer for community service to show their appreciation of what these men and women tried to protect our country and our ideals of freedom and liberty. You know, the hardest part of volunteering is giving your time. I promise. The nearest Veterans Hospital is the Bill Hefner Medical Center. It is located in Salisbury, not far drive, and you can volunteer by typing only 9 numbers, 704-638-9000. Easy number.
That's 10. It's 10 numbers.
Thank you, Megan. Into your phone and contacting them, so that they can assign you a job based on your talents. Just one day, any day in the summer, during Christmas break, sign up with a family member and give your service back to these honorable men and women. There are so many other places you can donate to your veterans without donating to your time. For instance, Home for Our Troops is a foundation that builds mortgage-free homes for the amputated, paralyzed, and brain-injured soldiers that have fought for Iraq and Afghanistan. The Homes for Our Troops work so that the soldiers have the ability to restart their life after being wounded from war. You can donate online at House of the USA, and they accept donation from cash to land rights. Anything helps. The Fisher House Foundation was made to give families home at no cost while their loved ones are receiving medical treatment. These homes are located near the medical center and where their veterans are being treated at. And if the Fisher House is not located at that hospital, they will personally pay for airplane tickets so that the family can get to their loved ones. The Fisher House also gives scholarships to children and spouses of veterans getting treatment. You can donate cash, and even if you have some, Mr. Kennedy, vehicles at the website fisherhouse.org. You want to have an extra car somewhere? If for some reason you cannot give up any money or time, at least say thank you. It's just a simple thing to do. When was the last time you have said thank you for your service to a veteran? It really means a lot. Some veterans I know have actually teared up because I took the time to thank them. And I know it might be hard, but just try to strike a conversation with them. Veterans are people just like us. They love to talk and sometimes even have cool stories to tell. It helps a whole lot to let veterans know that children of their country really do care about their service. And like, seriously, it is really easy to talk. This guy, I met him at Washington, D.C. We went there and he was at a gas station. He commented on my dad's car. He's like, hey, that's a nice car. We should hang out. And it found out that he was in D.C. because he was getting the commemorative medal, because he was the first black Marine. He originally served as a postman, then he went to the infantry, but then he retired soon after because, black laws. But anyways, he was a lot of fun. He was a lot of fun. He told us one time about having to clean the John and how there were snakes in there. There were rattlesnakes. Yeah. But anyways, to move on. Veterans keep this country intact. Without the served and the serving, We couldn't sit in this class. We couldn't have the comfy homes we lived in. We couldn't travel to other countries feeling protective. Joining the military is a right.